Hello, wonderful people of the great World Wide Web. Follow me on my way to Nordkapp, traveling on a budget with no real plan, just a general direction. Not taking the shortest route either, but exploring along the way. In the last episode, I crossed into Finland and explored the southern parts of the country. In this episode, I keep riding north, above the Arctic Circle and into Lapland. Let's find out what's next. We are picking up right where the last episode ended. After visiting Oulu, I turned the bike east, toward Ruka. The day was warm and beautiful, and I was really enjoying the ride. But the endless straight roads started putting me into a trance. I had to stop a few extra times to wake myself up. I couldn't pass through Ruka without visiting the ski center. Old snowboarder habits die hard. After leaving Ruka and heading northwest, the ride became difficult fast. The low evening sun was directly in my eyes, making it hard to see anything ahead. With reindeer constantly near the road, almost invisible against the landscape, I decided it was smarter to stop and find a place to spend the night. The next morning, I continued riding northwest. First stop, Rovaniemi. From there, the plan was to join the TET route and keep heading north. In hindsight, heading onto the TET with a questionable bike wasn't exactly a brilliant plan. But to explain that properly, we need to go back in time. The day before, somewhere before Ruka, the bike started feeling off. I first thought it was the rear wheel, but later realized it was actually slight jerking under load. On flat roads it felt like vibrations, but uphill it became much more obvious, and it definitely made me concerned. At a gas station near Ruka, I checked the chain slack. It was loose, but nothing dramatic. But to adjust it properly, I needed the bike on the center stand, and with all the luggage on, it was impossible for me to do it alone. Normally, I would ask someone for help. Luckily, I spotted a group of dual sport riders and asked them to give me a hand. And they did. Even better, one of them showed me how to get the bike onto the center stand by myself, even with full luggage. He's also a bike mechanic and took a look at the issue, trying to figure out those vibrations or jerking I was feeling. I'll leave his Instagram in the description, MotoGrid. Check him out. He makes some really solid content about mechanical work and off-road riding. After adjusting the chain, things got a bit better, but the issue was still there, just less noticeable. We ended up hanging out for a bit at a gas station over a beer, each going our own way after that. But that small bit of help, the new knowledge, pretty much saved the rest of my trip. Thank you, brother. You rock. Reach Rovaniemi, visit the Santa Claus village because you kind of have to, and then continue north on the TET route beyond the Arctic Circle into Lapland. I enjoyed the gravel roads through Lapland so much. And the best part was that on gravel, I could no longer tell which vibrations came from the road and which ones came from the bike. So I basically kinda solved the problem. At the gas station in Kierinki, I refilled the tank, took a coffee break, and huge thanks to the lady working there for repeatedly insisting on refilling my water bladder. I already had about half left and confidently thought that would be enough. Classic expert level decision making. Turns out I drank almost all 3 liters before seeing civilization again. Without her persistence, the second half of that ride would be a very, very dry experience. The ride was amazing until I hit this section. A thick layer of loose, big stones, with the front wheel constantly searching for its own path, and me fighting to keep the bike pointed where I wanted to go. I was sweating, swearing, and wondering who in their right mind thought this was a good road surface. Later, I learned that this surface actually had a purpose. It was preparation for the massive logging trucks during winter, a smart way to keep the road from being destroyed under all that weight. Sometimes the best way to learn is pure survival. With every kilometer through this rocky nightmare, I relaxed a bit more, remembering all the advice I had heard before. Trust the bike, it wants to stay upright. Relax your grip, stop fighting the handlebars, hold the bike with your legs and keep the momentum. But yeah, I wasn't exactly sad to see the end of it. Later, when I made it back to paved roads, I immediately noticed the problem had gotten worse. The vibrations were much stronger now, and I was seriously worried. While sitting outside a closed gas station, eating my sad, healthy dinner and rethinking some of my life choices, a Finnish couple stopped by. We talked for a while, and then came one of those moments that restore your faith in people. They invited me to their home for a shower and a place to stay for the night. After days on the road, that kindness meant a lot more than they probably realized, something I'm still grateful for today. 2 days later, while making my way north, somewhere out in Lapland, the road turned into what looked like a runway. It ended with huge signs bringing it back to normal road again. Later, I learned it was actually an emergency airstrip for fighter jets. Just before Sodankylä, I stumbled upon the perfect campsite. I stayed there for 2 days, spending my time cooking, swimming in the lake, watching the sunset, not doing much else besides simply enjoying the moment. I would have stayed another day, but the forecast was promising rain, so I packed up and kept moving north. Okay, while you enjoyed the ride toward Inari, let me tell you what happened during those missing 2 days. After spending the night at a lovely Finnish couple's house, we started calling local workshops the next morning. But because it was summer season, almost everyone was on vacation, which actually makes perfect sense up there since most of them mainly work on snowmobiles. I contacted Royal Enfield and they directed me to a workshop in Rovaniemi where one of their former employees was supposed to be working. I called them only to find out the guy had quit literally the day before. But they still told me to bring the bike in since they also worked on motorcycles. So I made my way back to Rovaniemi, this time sticking to paved roads. At the workshop we checked everything, rear wheel, chain, sprockets, but nothing looked obviously wrong. While I was there, I also changed the oil and the filter. That night I camped near Rovaniemi, and honestly, it was a rough night. I could barely sleep because of the bike and all the thoughts going through my head. The next morning, I returned to the workshop where we changed the rear wheel bearings, and later at another shop, replaced the chain. Unfortunately, we couldn't get new sprockets for the bike on such short notice. The bike felt better afterward, but still not 100%. And eventually, I made my decision. I would continue north and hope the bike would make it to Nordkapp and back home again. And if not, well, I will deal with that if the time came. But there is something important I have to say. The Finnish mechanics, local riders, and the Finnish TET community really stepped up to help me. Everyone was trying to help, checking the bike, sharing ideas, making calls. And when you are alone, far from home, every bit of help means a lot. I'm still grateful for every bit of help I received. Thank you. I had a double stroke of luck in Ivalo. I managed to dodge a rain shower in the last minute, and the cafe where I stopped for a break served surprisingly good espresso. With the rain gone, I continued toward Inari. There, I picked up the TET route once again and turned west, toward the Norwegian border. If you thought there would be 2 episodes in a row without my travel companion that I never invited, Rain, you were wrong. About 4 kilometers before Angeli, it caught up with me once again. I made it to Angeli and waited out a shower under a bus stop before continuing my way, where I was safe from the rain, but not from the mosquitoes. Luckily, I still had a piece of mosquito repellent spiral left, otherwise they would suck me dry. From Angeli, the TET route follows the Anarjohka River north, tracing the border with Norway. It turned into an absolute pleasure of a ride. I enjoyed every meter of it. About 7 kilometers before Karigasniemi, I stopped at a shelter for the night. One of those nights I'll remember for a long time. Sitting inside by the fire, listening to it crackle while thunderstorms rolled through outside and the rain hammered on the roof. The next day, I made it to Karigasniemi. And with that, this episode and my time in Finland comes to an end. Thank you for watching until the end, and I'll see you in the next one as I continue my journey through Norway. Ride safe and keep exploring!